All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. I know this is a busy time for a lot of people, and so maybe as we go along, others will join us. But this issue of the Caribbean deportations is a serious issue. I think a lot of persons within the Caribbean are slighting it and what is going to happen. Every year, of course, people do return to the Caribbean. However, this would be the first time that we're going to have it in mass. When I say en masse, where there's an influx, there'll be an influx this time around in terms of deportees. The Caribbean governments, CARICOM especially, they have been warned and told to prepare for the deportees. We're not hearing much from the governments. We're not hearing much from them at all in terms of what kind of preparations are they making. Every year, the US do send back people to the Caribbean. That's a fact. But during this one, it's a bit different. It's where you're going to see an influx of people. You're going to see an influx of people coming in to the Caribbean all at once. And I believe that is where we're going to have most of our problems. Let me say good morning to Francis out of Trinidad and Tobago. We're not hearing enough from the governments. They need to at least reassure the public that we have plans in place. And when I say plans, I'm talking about plans to deal with those because a lot of persons will be coming back. They're unemployed. We have criminals who will be coming back in the mix as well. People who have committed crimes in the United States and who will be deported as well back to these islands. And you're getting there more in larger numbers than usual. Because what you would get over the years, sometimes you get 18, some islands would get 5, some would get 10, some would get 100 and something. Now you're going to get them. There's nobody getting, like, I mean, for instance, St. Vincent, average yearly, you would see probably 18 persons return back home from the United States of America. On the deportation list this year is 127. That's just the first batch. So let me just go through this and explain what I'm talking about. You have Antigua on a yearly basis. They may get around 15, 20, 30 something people coming back home. In the first batch this year, it's 110. So you see the steep rise in all the islands with the amount of persons that would be coming back home. You see the steep rise. But let us frame this discussion because I do not want anyone to say that we are against a country doing what they consider to be illegal act. Let me put that straight. If you go into Trinidad, if you go into Jamaica, if you go into Barbados, if you go into St. Vincent as a visitor, and these states give you 6 months that you can remain there. That's most of the time what you get the stamp in your passport. Some give you 3 months, some give you 6 months. I think 6 months is the most they give you. If they give you 3 months or 6 months, and they say to you, look, after such time, if you remain, you become illegal because this is the legal length of time we're giving you. After the 6 months have passed and elapsed, once you remain in Trinidad, once you remain in Jamaica, once you remain in St. Vincent, Barbados, Dominica, anywhere they give you that 6 months, you're automatically in the country illegally. It doesn't matter if you came in as a legal visitor, you're now illegal in that country. That's the laws of the countries, and they exist in the Caribbean as well. So we want to take it from the premise that what they're doing in the US is not a crime. It's been happening all these years. It's just that Donald Trump has said in his campaign time and time again that he is going to do it, and he is doing it. That's just it. And it's been hyped in the media. But what I want to say to our people is that we are to prepare for more than the usual. And that is what is going to cause some of the social issues that we would be facing in the Caribbean, because we're taking in more than the usual. And with our situation with crime, our situation with unemployment very high in many of the islands, we would be facing a double whammy, so to speak. And let me say good morning to Crosby, Christabel Crosby. Thanks for joining us this morning. He says, good morning. Yes, this is serious as the islands are already dealing with lots of migrants. Quick plan is needed by our leaders. And Francis says some of them even run from crimes in the very country they're being sent back to, which is sad. And that is a fact. So we are having issues. Look at Antigua, that's 110. The Bahamas, that's 426. Barbados 151, and you've seen the violence that started upticking Barbados now. Cayman Islands is 2. Well, Dominica 104 for a small island of 90,000 people, 80,000 people. That's a lot of persons coming back home at once, and that this is just the first wave I'm telling you about. The Dominican Republic 12,000 plus. That's a lot. Grenada's 149. Guadeloupe is 12. Guyana is 1,236. Haiti is 32,000. On top of all of the issues that are happening in Haiti, that's 32,000 people coming back home. Remember, I said to you, it's not only those who are living in the US illegally. The status is illegal. I'm talking about criminals as well. People who've committed crimes and heinous crimes. Jamaica, 5,000 plus. That's a lot of people. Montserrat is 8. St. Kitts is 68. St. Kitts has been battling a scourge of crime lately. St. Lucia's 102, St. Vincent's 127. St. Vincent has been battling the scourge of crime for a while now. The last 3-4 years or so. Last year they had 53, I think murders 54. Turks and Caicos is 25 and Trinidad is 1,197. So we have to get around the issue that what America is doing is not nice. We have to get off of that scene, because this is something that takes place every single year in the US. They deport people. It's just that they're ramping it up now and shipping out more than the usual. But every country has a right to secure their borders to remove illegal people. And if you're in a country and you're not legal, then you are an illegal. So let us get that straight. So let's get back to the Caribbean now, because some people seem to think that what is happening there shouldn't happen, but that's another discussion for another time. But let's get back to the Caribbean now. In terms of monies coming back to the Caribbean region, you're talking about remittances. That's one of the biggest things that will be disrupted. Last year, 2024, the Caribbean would have received 18.4 billion in remittances in 2024. This was projected because this was said in October last year. But now we know that they have received the 18 billion in remittances. That's a growth rate of 2% in 2024. You're talking about 18.4 billion remittances coming back home. Now, I want you to know that a lot of people who are sending home remittances, whether it is through Western Union, whether it is through MoneyGram, wherever, how, wire to a bank, whatever means, a lot of people, yes, can get a bank account in the United States of America, even if you're not legal. You can. Now, they've been sending back home money through Western Union. They've been sending back home money through MoneyGram. This money is going to drop significantly. Whether you like it or not, it's going to drop significantly to the Caribbean. And I don't think that is something that any of us start looking at yet. Persons are saying 54,000 people out of how much millions live in the Caribbean it's just a drop in the bucket. It's not a problem for them. Listen to me. That's a lot of people still. If you have 149 people coming home who's unemployed, who don't know where they're going, who don't have a job, who have committed crimes in other countries and coming back home to meet you, 149 people. Some of them maybe have been there since they were children. Like I'm talking about, they probably went up there when they were 9, 10 years old. Some of them did not get regularized. They don't get the papers, nothing, and they're coming back home. that's a problem for you. You may think it's not a problem for you, and we may laugh it off, but it is a serious issue that all of us need to pay attention to. And so, two senior Caribbean community diplomats have warned the regional governments who seem apparently not taking this thing seriously and nationals on those islands to prepare for larger than unusual numbers coming in the months because this is the first wave. You're talking about month after month. When this thing is over, you might find your little country of Grenada, who's getting 149 in the first wave. This is month on after month. You may find yourself with 3,000 people coming back home. These are people who are unemployed. Some of them were involved in criminal activity where they are. You think that is a joke? Some people think this is not serious. This is a serious problem. That number you're seeing there, that number that you're seeing on the screen here, where you're seeing 110 and 104, this is not the total of or the sum of everybody coming back. This is just the first wave. You're talking about a month on month basis until America decides that they're going to stop deporting. This is a month on month basis issue. So while you see Antigua may have 110 in the first wave, month on month, you may see 97 the next month, 110 the next month again. You're talking by the time the end of the year or by the time they stop this deportation issue in the US, you may see a country like Antigua with 3,000, 4,000 people coming back home. And these will be people who are unemployed. You understand what I'm saying to you? So let us not get this thing twisted. Daily Events said there are over 90,000 Caribbean nationals that are among the 1.4 non-citizens in the United States, right? There you go. So you think that this first wave is something, they'll be going through all of America and scooping out everybody. That 90,000 you're seeing there is just the first number. From last year when they did, I understand, they said that they're looking for more. Man, I'm telling you, good morning to you, Daily Events Worldwide Info, and Vanessa Gabriel from Dominica. Good to have you. You guys can share the live. You can share the live and let more people get in on the action and start commenting. I love the commenting. It's good to see us comment and share thoughts on what's happening. So just drop your pointers there all the time. But what I'm saying, exactly my point. Those are only from Caribbean, not Mexico, Latin America. All right. So there we go. So what I'm saying is that we seemingly are not taking this thing as serious as it should. And when we talk about it, some people are saying that we're blowing it out of proportion. Nobody is blowing out anything of proportion. This is going to be a problem for us in these islands. A problem. We're suffering with the crime already. The gun crime is up in all of the islands. As I speak, there's state of emergency in Trinidad. There's states of emergency in various parts of Jamaica because of gun crime and criminal elements. You're talking about people coming back who are seemingly seasoned in crime, some of them. So we need to take this as serious. And I'm not hearing anything from the governments. Some are laughing after what Trump is doing. Some are saying, "Oh, don't bother with him. Nobody's coming back to the Caribbean in any numbers." It's like this. You guys don't understand what is happening here. This is what you call the cleansing, the purge. Everybody is being sent back to where they belong. They don't see the bigger picture. They don't even understand what is coming. This is a year when a lot of things will come together. People, you see, they sit in governments and they sit in their armchairs and they think that they control a population. And they see themselves as masters and tenants of a plantation called these little islands, the Caribbean. They don't even know what's awaiting them out there. They don't know. So they're not taking it seriously. We're not hearing enough from them. How are you going to support these people coming back home? Some have nowhere to stay. Are you going to build shelters in these islands for these people? Are they going to be mined by taxpayers who are paying money already, who are being burdened in these Caribbean islands? You're not hearing anything. And this is how these governments behave. Of course, it's going to be very disastrous for the economies of this country. My good friend Elgin, it's going to be very, very disastrous. I have a question. If these people have their visa, are they still deported back home? Now, if you have a U.S. visa and you go into the United States of America on a holiday, for instance, you go in December, and they ask you at the customs and immigration, what are you here for? You said, well, I'm here to see my cousins, they're Americans, or I'm stay with them for the holiday season. Okay, fine. They give you 6 months in your passport. You have a US visa. A US visa is an entitlement to be in America, as in a resident, you are a visitor to the United States. It gives you a legal entry as a visitor. And you go in there for 6 months with the stamp in your passport. They give you 6 months, and they say after the 6 months, you have to leave. Now you can go out of the country and you could come back in the next month and maybe 2 weeks after. And they will give you more time again, but they will start to watch you if you start coming back, in a even short span of time. They may say you may be up to something. But the point about it is that a US visa, a US visa, nothing, nothing. It's just to enter the country as a visitor. You will be deported back home if they find you there. As a matter of fact, if you spend more than 6 months in the United States with an American visa, and you decide to lily in America, make your friends convince you to stay there because the life is sweet, you don't want to go back home to St. Vincent or Trinidad or Barbados, Jamaica, wherever you come from, that visa is already dead and dusted. You're not getting another visa either. Good morning to my good friend Lucinda. Thank you for the question. Daily Events Worldwide says here in Jamaica, the stats conducted have led to the realization that that these are causing significant increase in crime here in Jamaica. Of course, it does, because you're talking about people who have been among the best of the best in the US committing crime. You're talking about they meeting with Colombians, they meeting with Italians, they meeting with all these kind of Mexicans. And so they engrave in a kind of a crime. It's not the usual thing. And when they come back to the Caribbean, it's easier to get people, some few boys on the block who have nothing to do. It's easy to convince them that, look, I've been over there, I know how to run this thing. Let's get on with the crime situation. So there are problems. It's going to be a lot of problems for us. Muriel John says, good morning, watching from Canada. These people went back leaving their money in the bank and belongings. That is true. I have two friends who have already cleared out of the United States of America. They said they're not waiting to be kicked out. And so they would have had monies in banks because, like I said to you, you can get an account even if you're not a citizen. You can. And so they would have taken out their monies, send them back home, pack up their belongings, ship them barrels, whatever they have to do, and they're already back in St. Vincent because they know that they would have been thrown out of the United States of America. They don't have papers. And one of the issues I have with our people in the Caribbean too, before I continue that, Daily Events Worldwide says, at my calculation, expect to see over 3 million deportees from the US this year. I wouldn't be surprised with that number. I would not be surprised with that number. So I want to get back to this I was talking about a while ago. One of the problems I have with all people going up to the United States, and it's not only Caribbean people, but since this is a Caribbean channel and we are dealing with Caribbean matters, it behoves me to speak about the Caribbean. And so our people would leave the Caribbean. They would go on a holiday. Yes, a friend convinced me to stay. Life is nice, life is sweet. We see the bright lights and we get attracted and we want to stay. That's fine. That's your thing. Do your thing. I'm not going to be illegal in anybody's country. But the point about it is that you go there. Oh my gosh. Come on, man. Start trying to fix yourself, see what you can do. If there's a way that you could get papers, even if you're applying for temporary residence, you're working with somebody. Don't just let them pay you under the books or off the books, as they say, and under the table. Try and ask them, make yourself into something productive. Say, well, I'm working with you guys, and I think I can make a great contribution, and I see what you can do here for me in terms of a temporary residency or something, or a work permit, and see if I could get a job there. Because if you have a work permit, you can stay in America for a while, based on the years the work permit, is given for. But our people don't do these things. They just go up there and they sit down. And they start running around. I go there very often, and when I go there, I meet people who I know from St. Vincent, and they're just there. Every weekend, they're in the clubs. You find themselves in a saloon somewhere doing the latest hairstyle, put themselves on Facebook or TikTok and Instagram, and they display and they do all these things. You don't get yourself into something meaningful. And by the time you're ready to be shipped out of the United States of America, you're coming back home broke, and you're going to put pressure on the system to help you. And some of your family members, they are not going to help. Some of them are not going to help. And the reason why they're not going to help with the situation is because you were in the United States of America. You've been there for a lot of time, and you did not even return a penny to them, as they would say in the Caribbean. And so they don't have a reason to help you. They don't have any justified reason to help you. What is going to happen is that all the pressure will come to bear on governments, and governments will have to come back now and dig out more of the taxpayers' money to help these people. Let me say good morning to Orma Adams. Oh, yes, I do agree with you that this is serious, and some of these people already have a life over there and cannot adapt to the life here. That's another situation that we'll have to deal with. Authentic Israelite says not all are coming back as criminals. That's a fact. We know all are not coming back as criminals. And of course, you know, many have skills they can use to solve problems and start businesses. One main thing people can do is agriculture and start raising chickens, help each other. Absolutely agree with authentic Israelite. That is a fact. Not all are coming back as criminals, and we did point it out at the beginning. Not all are coming back as criminals. Okay, but like I said, many will be coming back without anything to do. You're correct that some of them have skills that they've developed for a while in the US, because they may start to get jobs like, you know, doing sheet racks. They work in different places, hotels, they're building houses. So they come back with skills that they didn't even left with. So yes, they can use it back in the Caribbean to help themselves as well. And that is a fact. But we're going to have a large number coming back who are lazy, who've been living off the system in the US, unproductive, and among that group as well will be those who are criminals. So we going to have a situation that we have to start preparing for. But thank you very much for authentic Israelite. You are very, very correct on that. The U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement arrested 950 on Sunday, 7,000 per week, and 52 times. Okay, got you. Big problems. That's true. Many of these people, any of these persons involved in crime in the US and who are being deported won't be able to get employment because of their criminal records, and this will only cause a rise in criminal activities. I want to say something, you know, that over the years, we have not heard from our governments as to who these people are when they come back home. If you know them from your community, you have an idea who they are. But we don't ever get anything from our governments as to the numbers, the staggering numbers, the people who come back and who have been involved in criminal activity in these countries. We don't hear from the government, okay, well, we had 20 deportees last year. 5 of them were involved in criminal activities, and so we are keeping a tab. We don't ever hear those things. So many come back, they kind of give you the American twang, so to speak. You know, they picked up a little twang here and there, and some even put it on for you to make you feel, well, you know what it is. And we get sucked in. We don't know what their lifestyle was in the United States of America. And so time after time, we start seeing certain traits and we say, but wait, no, this is not normal. But we don't get that from our governments, which is something that we really should demand from them in the Caribbean. I think we really should demand that from our governments in the Caribbean. That sort of information where people, the people who come back, at least those who are of a criminal nature, we should at least know that 5 came back or 10 came back. You don't have to name them, because in your community, you will know who they are. But there are no databases. So we end up with no accountability. And I see daily events is reading my mind. No databases, no information, no accountability. Absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. And that is the problem that I am having. That is the problem I'm having with a lot of Caribbean governments. And so we are left to fend on our own to figure out these things. And then by the time we get it wrong, a lot of them would tell you that, look, I've seen in various Caribbean islands, I have lawyers who are friends, and they would say to me, listen, when we go to the court, we realize that many of the people who are back here, they come back here with a criminal background, who we take to the court and who get a lot of the youngsters involved in criminal activity. You understand? And that is something that a lot of us are not paying great attention to. which we must pay attention to. And I really want to let our people know that the time is coming, because many of us believe that we can do or deal with many of them on our own, so to speak. Many of us believe in that. We can't deal with it. Let me tell you something about the American society. I have lived there. I have lived there. And I go there from time to time. What you get in the United States of America is a far cry from what you get in the Caribbean. You hear me? What you get in the United States of America in terms of living and how you live and how you go about your daily life is a far cry from what takes place in the Caribbean. That is something that you ought to know. So when these people come back here, they come back with a different mindset. It's not the mindset that you have. It's a totally different mindset. It's a hustling society. It's a hustling society. And so to make ends meet, they do it however they can. And that is what you will have to understand. That is what you have to face in the coming months. A lot of people will be coming back here with that mindset, a hustling society. And remember, the life they live is very fast compared to yours. You go to work from 8 to 4 here, some of you come home. That's it. You go back to work the next day, weekends are off. In those countries, some people don't get weekends off. It's every day they have to be on the grind. Every single day they have to be on the grind. It means that they're coming back here with the same mentality. And if they can't get it, they're going to have to take it from somewhere. And I'm talking about those who are lazy, unproductive, and who have been involved in criminal activity. And so, Sharano, greetings. So, like I'm saying to you, that is what you have to deal with in the coming months. Are we prepared for that? I don't think so. Are Caribbean governments prepared for this? I don't think so, because we've not been hearing from them. So Ronald Sanders, who is Antigua's ambassador to the US, and David Comijong out of Barbados, ambassador to CARICOM, they have suggested that the government should pay close attention to the current developments, and that the regional law enforcement agency should also suit up to meet the challenges linked to deportations. I mean, all police officers, are they ready for the challenge? Are they up to it? Because you see, observing large numbers of deportees suddenly can have a disrupting effect on social services of Caribbean governments. And I've said that to you before, particularly in relation to healthcare and education. And that additional strain could exacerbate unemployment and potentially contribute to more rise in crime rates. They're all the factors that will have to be monitored closely. And an appropriate representation have to be made to the US government if the problems become unmanageable. Look, you know, when I look at some of the governments, it just seems as if they're just bystanders as the deportation exercises are being ramped up. They just look like bystanders. Oh, I hear Trump is behaving badly. That's what I heard one of them say. Oh, he's just behaving badly. We don't have time with he right now. And that will not affect us. That will not affect you? What kind of foolishness is that? Huh? What kind of nonsense talk is that? You last year the region got 18.4 billion in remittances from the United States of America. They're not only coming from people who have their papers and are regularized and are residents in America, They're coming from people who are they're walking off the books. They're coming back home to meet you. You don't care? Sharon O says Daily events. Well, she's bigging up the people. Sure, I know. Thanks at top of the morning to you. Aaron says, I know some will be tempted to join gangs, and I have a problem with that. They would, and that is one of the other problems that the Sir Ronald Sanders is urging the Caribbean governments to pay mindful attention to, and the police force to pay attention to, because they would be joining gangs, many of them who are coming back home here and who decide that they want to, don't want to engage in anything productive. They would want to join gangs. And that is one of the problems that we would have, definitely. So I wanted to let you know that our governments, we need to hold them accountable. And when I say hold them accountable, I'm talking about letting us know what are their plans for these deportees that will be coming back home. What are their plans? What are they going to say to us? What do they have in place for the social services? Do we have shelters for these people? Do we have jobs that we can put them into? Are taxpayers going to be overburdened? Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's having a conversation with their population. Nobody's having a conversation with their population. And that is the problem I have with Caribbean politicians. Nobody's having a conversation with the population. And you have people who are ambassadors, people who are in non-governmental groups. They're the ones who are speaking and telling us, look, we have to be prepared. CARICOM countries have to be concerned because the U.S. has been a prime migration destination for our people. And there are many CARICOM citizens or people of CARICOM ancestry in the U.S. So it's beyond just a concern. Some of them say, oh, we're monitoring it. It's beyond just a concern, friends. I think our countries would be well advised to be proactive and to put contingency plans in place. Because people would be deported back home. There is no doubt in that. Look, we are not like large countries such as the UK, China, Japan. We're not a large, we don't have large economies. So that is why we are to already be making plans to deal with this. But we're not hearing anything. Warrior 77 says, because many, including Caribbean people, sat out this election thinking Trump is going to be nice. Well, no, you know what? Trump did say during the elections, and I listened to him. He said he's going to do this. This is part of his plan. A lot of Caribbean people, yes, they were rooting for Trump, but he said what he had to say. He said what he had to say, and the Americans voted for him. A lot of Caribbean people thought it would have been a nice thing, what he's saying. But here we are today. Let me say good morning to my good friend Game in there. Good morning, watching from Dominica. Top of the morning to you. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Sharon O says the politicians are lost. Vanessa Gabriel says this is a very serious matter. Ann Foster says need mass deportations in Canada and the UK. Well, they're coming very soon, don't worry. Because usually the Americans start the ball rolling, and that happens all over the world. The Americans start the ball rolling, and then it gets picked up everywhere else. So don't worry. Canada and the UK will be next. Don't worry about that. You could bet your bottom dollar. When I said last year, I put out a series of videos last year. People laughed after us and said that we were spreading fear. Even when I put out and say several Caribbean countries are being targeted for deportations, and I said to them it's coming, they laughed. They said we're spreading fear and alarm. Do you think this is fear and alarm? You see, the problem in the Caribbean is that we're not accustomed to having serious discussions. We like to talk about a lot of things that don't make good sense. That's how I put it. We don't have serious discussions. We don't want to have serious discussions. And many of our programs on radios and some of the even on TV, it's just a lot of commerce, as they would say. We don't want to have proper discussions. How do we develop ourselves? How do we feed our own communities? How do we not import the junk from the United States and from Canada and England? And I mean, we have to start having serious discussions, And I'm very happy that you as a family have decided to join this channel. And look out next week, because I'm setting up back the part of the studio. We had some issues, and we'll be able to take the calls again. And so I'm expecting to hear from all of you, because I know all of you have things that you want to share. And we have to build ourselves as a community. We have to talk about these things as a community. And Sharon O is very correct. The politicians are lost, many of them. Since 2016, Jamaica has been climbing the criminal states chart. Well, that's a fact. That is a fact. No, they have been. A warrior says not been climbing the charts. They have been doing it. Trinidad as well. St. Vincent as well. You take, for instance, in St. Vincent, you probably used to hear about 97 murders a year. Or sometimes maybe 12, 13. Remember the 97, because the 97 was a large number there. That was not, I think I got mixed up there. But you used to hear about 12, 13, 20 something. Now you're hearing constantly, year on year, 54, 53, 55. They have been climbing the charts in St. Vincent as well. And it's some vicious murders. I mean, vicious murders. So we have been climbing the charts in the Caribbean. And State X4 says Trump is doing exactly what he said he would do, and the law is on his side. He got the House, he got the Senate, he got the majority votes, he got the electoral, he got he can do whatever he pleased to do. What Caribbean people want illegals in their own country? Get real. Nobody wants them, I can tell you that. Nobody wants them, but they're going to get them. Good morning from Trinidad, Shay. Together we aspire, together achieve. That's correct. School CXC says, I guess I'm going to see a lot of my family members. Victorious lady says, it's not right for you to be in a country without the right documentation. You're benefiting off what is meant for the citizens. You're putting added pressure on the economies and the resources. That is quite correct. That's what's happening. Greetings, brothers and sisters. There, Orma Adams says, and they are smart. They will trick you to get into your home and find information of your home how information is being run. I remember that happened a couple of years ago to somebody in St. Vincent. They took in somebody that came back, said they had nowhere to go. And they left St. Vincent when they were probably 12 or 13. And when they came back, the parents had died. Said they had nowhere to go, and they took them in. Elderly lady took them in because they knew he knew their parents. Elderly woman took them in because she knew his parents, and ended up almost murdering the people. You come back from those places with a lot of high tricks in your head, you know. All right. The PNM government has destroyed Trinidad and Tobago. Somebody says, hi, is this in Taiwan? No, it's not in Taiwan. Somebody also said Trinidad gone off the deep end. Victorious lady says illegal migration was a serious issue in the U.S. It was quite a burden on the government. The citizens voted for Trump because they knew he was the only one who could actually do something about it. Every country have a right to enforce their immigration laws and protect their borders point blank. There is no tit for tat about it. That's correct, according to Terry B. Top of the morning to you. And someone says even children are being targeted last weekend day on the 12-year-old youth in okay. Trump is making right on his campaign promises. Amen to that. I'll tell you something, you have to give it to Trump for one of the politicians in a long time that whatever they promise, they do. And we have a lot of politicians in the Caribbean that promise you many, many things. And when they get into government, it's the total opposite. So you have to say kudos to him. Somebody also says, I never thought I would see these days in my country. Wow. Well, yep. And so why argue the case for people who don't like to follow the laws and rules? Why go Canada illegal in the first place? Someone says, please do not deport any more criminals to Trinidad. We have a government full of blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read that. Okay. But the point about it is that, Morg, behave yourself down there in Trinidad. Anyway, like I'm saying to you, this is the first wave of persons that would be coming back to the Caribbean. The numbers you're seeing here are just the first wave. This is going to be a month on basis. So, like I said to you, you may find yourself that some countries may have, at the end of the day, end up with 4,000, 3,000, 5,000. So they need to, or at least I'm saying that our governments need to at least say to us, look, it is a serious matter. Contingency plans in place. This is what we're going to do, but we're not hearing that. Trump believes in making deals. Whoever understands this and how to talk to him can work with him. Okay. Shesha says the persons who are being reported first are the ones that have criminal cases. Yes, those are the ones that are being looked at first right now in terms of criminal persons who've committed criminal acts. But guess what? What ICE is reporting is that when they pick up persons who are criminals, they're meeting them living with people who are also illegal immigrants who have not committed crimes. And therefore, they are moving out those persons as well. So while criminals are the first set of people being targeted, there are people who have not committed crimes who are being taken as well. Guys, this is not a joke. And that is why I have been advocating all the time. And I'm saying to you guys since last year, look, plant your own food. Plant your own food. Don't depend on the imports. The Caribbean imports about $1 billion for some countries, over billions of dollars in imports from the US. We need to get ourselves organized in the Caribbean. We need to get ourselves organized. A lot of need to find more productive things to do. And I say productive, not just the ordinary 8 to 4 government job. I'm talking about getting into side jobs, things that you can help educate the children with, do some classes on the side with them. There are people who retire and are now doing classes with children. Some are even seeing the benefit of doing that, helping them to stay out of a life of crime, because many go to school and when they come home one evening time, they have nothing to do. They go on the block and they join with other people. So I'm talking about us being a civilized people where we could actually help to bring up our children, our communities. We need to get back that love. I mean, it's in some places it may be hard to do, but guess what? In the end, it will all be good for it. But I'm urging our people to plant. You see, like how Trump says, drill, baby, drill for the oil. I want our people to plant. Get back to the land. We should not even be in a situation here where we have to be importing so much food from the United States of America. No, we have the land, man. We have the land. Vida Oliver says, I agree with President Trump. All right. The word illegal is the key for deportation. It's just the criminals first. That's correct. Illegal. Antonio says facts. CEDEX4 says next to TT is Venezuela. And after that comes Colombia. Wake up. By going to US illegally is already a crime. Of course, it's already. Yes, stop depending on them. Authentic Israelites said, unknown truth. Caribbean people are Israelites of the Bible. Many still under the curse of Deuteronomy. Crimes are as a result of sin. Repent so can heal. Thank you very much for that, Authentic Israel. And bro, just open your eyes, bro. You have to work and give the deported individuals. The governments have no clue or cure. Says, greetings, read Jeremiah 51. If we understand prophecy, America is about to be judged in a very bad way. The prophet had warned that they who don't belong there go back to your country. It is written. Well, I can tell you something, judgment is coming for a lot of people. Not only the United States of America. Judgment is coming for this entire world. You hear me? Judgment is coming for the entire world. I could preach a whole sermon here today on that. The entire world judgment is coming for. We read about America. We hear about America. About prophecy. Yes, we know a lot about prophecy in the Bible. But you know what the ultimate prophecy is? This entire world will face judgment. People have this grace. Yeah. You remember when he said he regret that he made man? Man, we could talk about that another morning. Don't worry. Get yourself prepared because the entire world will fail judgment. The entire world. Let us build our Caribbean nations and keep it clean. When I work in Antigua, Freeman is saying, when I worked in Antigua, I had to pay for temporary residency for 2 years and my work permit. Do the right thing in the first place. That's right. Plant, baby, plant. That's right. Trump says, drill, baby, drill. I say, plant, baby, plant. Plant your agricultural produce. Plant it up away. We have fertile lands. Do you know? I'm making a case here. Do you know that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, once called the breadbasket of the Eastern Caribbean? You know why? St. Vincent used to plant carrots and export carrots. Do you know that they import carrots now to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions per year? Could you believe that? When they have the soil to do it? Hmm? They used to export everything under the sun. Sweet potato, tanya, dashin yam. I mean, they're doing it now again, trying nothing, making some strides, but not like they used to. We're importing that now. We're importing so much stuff. We have mangoes here, wasting every year. You know what we do? We ship them to Trinidad. People send them back up as red ruku in a bag, and our school children buy them. You could believe that? We are jokers in these islands, man. Anyway, it says the love of many are waxing cold, like the Bible said. That's Maria. And Antonio said no more chemicals. Natural is the way. That's correct. A smart Caribbean leader would send a buffet of Caribbean fruit, rum, and cuisine to Trump as a gift and invite him to talk trade and security. Trump's like kind of respect. Rayman says worst thing to do is to live illegally in other people's country, become a liability on asset. Caribbean leaders need to have an reintegration plan rather than arguing about it. That's what they're doing right now, arguing. I have my own little kitchen garden. You will not imagine how empowering it is to reap and cook what you eat. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. It says we need to foster community. Also, the Holy Spirit told me in 2017 that a famine is coming. We must plant. I told my family in TNT in 2017. Build more rehab centers. And Lois is correct. Well, she's responding there. Ashwa is upset. I suggest that person who doesn't have papers to start sending their belongings home and withdraw their savings and send it home because they won't wait and to get them themselves. That's good. Families revolutionary. Trinidad border in more trouble with Venezuela. Let me tell you all something. I pointed out to you already that the amount of revenue we received last year, we're not going to receive it this year. 18.4 billion in remittances from the US. So US does pay a great deal in our remittances. We're not going to get that this year. I can tell you that. You know a lot of your families are in the US. A lot of you know that. A lot of your families are in the US. A lot of you know that. And they send home money all the time, all the time, all of the time to the Caribbean. They send it home almost sometimes fortnightly, monthly, weekly basis. They send home money to you. Many of them don't have their papers. That is going to drop significantly. What are we going to do when that is finished, when that is over? A lot of you depend on that. Friends, we're living in serious times. Very, very, very serious times. The love of many will wax cold. Brothers would hate brothers. Sisters would hate sisters. They would kill one another. And that's a fact. We're seeing like what we're calling the great repatriation. That's what we're seeing here. You're going back to where you belong. You understand? It's going to be a sad time for many people, and I understand that. I understand that completely. But it will be a time as well for you to reevaluate your life. But many of us make the mistake that when we go to those countries that we're going to paradise. It's not paradise. Never was, never will be. Some people say it's American dream. And that's the reason they call it the American dream. It's a dream. That's all it is. Kishan Ali says Trump is not wrong for putting his country first. That's correct. And I wish a lot of Caribbean politicians could put their country first instead of destroying their own people. Law of Assumption says, just join the stream. Is it true that America is not only targeting illegal immigrants, but immigrants on a whole? If so, that it's not about making America great again, it's about making America white again. Well, that's an argument I hear a lot of people talking about. That's a lot of people. Remember, they were talking about the revoking of the birthright citizenship and all of that. Well, that's something that's up for discussion in America. That's before the lockouts. A lot of people are suing because of that. States are suing because of that. So, a lot of things. Listen to me. Whether we want to accept it or not, and this is not racism. America, as you listen to their discussions, America is white and white it wants to be. That's just what it is. This is their country, and they want to have it how they want to have it. And you can't argue with people for that. Jason Nesbitt says we in Trinidad need to do the same thing too. Too much Venezuelan in our country. Remember, you have to talk to your government about that one. Most of our people have gotten too proud to work the land because they have fancy jobs. The new millionaire will be those who do organic agriculture. That's a fact. That's right. All nations, chapter 49, deal with the fall of all nations. Trinidad board is in trouble. Well, Helen says, me, you never send me back. I from Barbados. I love my country, and no one can do that to me. What a shame. Give God thanks in the last days. Well, you know, like I said before, the numbers that you're seeing on the screen here, this number you're seeing here, Antigua 110, that's just the first round, eh? That's just the first wave. These are people who've already been given their final orders. So these are just the first numbers that you're seeing. There are other people. And in the coming months, you'll see different numbers. Trinidad have over 1,000. That's a high number. We don't know. And like I said to you, we don't know who will be coming back here as productive citizens or people who have been involved in crime. Jamaica have over 5,000. We don't know who will be coming back as productive or who will be coming back as criminal intent. There's some big numbers here, For a small country like Dominica, it's 104. Antigua is 110. That's a lot for population. Even down to St. Vincent, just in there, under 100,000 now. 120 something is a lot still. Grenada, 149 is a lot. Trump is focusing on migrants. He's focusing on illegal migrants. Don't forget the key word there, illegal. Yes, that's right. He's focusing on all of them. Everybody. She has a very true when a citizen, when a certain regime said doom out borders every, okay. And my good friend Silvap says, even if they revoke the birthright citizenship, it won't be retroactive. It will be too messy if they did that. I believe that other countries will follow Trump's lead and start deporting as well. Well, of course. I said to you, anything that happens in America is a ripple effect. What you would find very soon is that Canada will start doing it in a big way. And then you'll find the UK start doing it as well. All right? This is not just an American problem. Immigration is a worldwide issue with a lot of countries. And so you would find after a while that a lot of countries starting to do it as well. So you might find Canada very soon, and then you find the UK start doing it. Exactly. The US is setting the blueprint. The blueprint. That's correct. Purple Royal. That's right. Americans do not like to work. Somebody says, Alice Allison says, Haiti at 32,000. Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot of people. Yeah. We should all be citizens of Earth, no matter where we go. That's a fact. But things have changed. While we all should live in one commune and be among each other and enjoy life as the Most High wanted it in the first place, things have changed. Mankind have changed, and borders have been created, whether their faults are real, and governments have been put in place, and laws have been put in place, and so we see the end result of everything. Each Caribbean country can expect the same from UK. Well, I'm saying, and Canada's, that is right. That's a global order. I love how we talk about the American dream. I have always been saying that is a farce. I just read a poetry book entitled "Is This the American Dream" by Real Ford. Keep up the good work, bro. Vinci 127. Well, yeah, that's correct. That's correct, Marvin. Yeah, it is. It is. One of these days, I'll give you a good rundown of why they call it the American dream. You won't believe. But it's just a dream. It's just a dream. A lot of people sit home in the Caribbean and I hear them say, boy, if I could only go to New York, if I could only live in Miami, boy, I could do so much for my people. If I could only, yep, it's just a dream, my friend. It's just a dream. It's a big, big dream. All right. And I say to you, and I'm saying to you again this morning, I want all of us here, this community, because, the discussion that you guys are having here, I recognize a lot of you have already awoken to what is happening in the world. You understand what is happening. And a lot of you already know that time is getting closer. You see it. You see it. I'm happy that you're conscious and that a lot of you are advocating community togetherness. Plant, baby, plant, um, holding governments accountable. You see what is happening. And that is the kind of discussion that we want. That is the kind of discussion that we need in the Caribbean. That is why by next week we would have the system set up properly again so that you'll be able to call me and we will have the lines open and that we'll talk and we'll have all these programs. At least with other programs happening in the Caribbean, and they don't really give people the chance to speak in terms of voicing their opinions properly. They give you a minute till you run off. You guys express real things and you want to get deep into discussion, and I can see that. So I'm going to give you that chance come next week where you can call in and others can hear you and can interact with you. All right. And so StateX4 says you can live better in the Caribbean country versus the US where you're stuck in an apartment. But Authentic Israelite says it's a false dream. I know because I live there. I'm ready to come home to TNT. You got to be asleep to believe, God. Listen to me. Do you think it's easy to live in America? Huh? Or Canada or the UK? I tell people all the time, if they have a good job in the Caribbean, do not leave it and go to the United States of America. Don't do it. You hear me? I had a friend living in an apartment in Brooklyn. 1-bedroom apartment. $1,200 a month. $1,200 US a month. You think it's easy to live in the United States of America? America is big, but guess what? America is a lonely place. And that is why a lot of people come back from America, the UK and Canada, with a lot of mental health issues. You know why they come back with mental health issues? It's not because they've been running 3 and 4 jobs, One of the best things you can do in life is to occupy yourself. And when I say occupy yourself, your brain, you must occupy your brain. So work is not an issue. And getting rest is part of that. One doctor told me who lived to 105, you know what he said to me? He said one of the best ways to avert depression and anxiety is to work, and get adequate rest and eat properly. So working in America is not really the issue, America is a very lonely place. It can become a very lonely place. It is big, but it is huge. You have many things to do and see, but it is a very lonely place. And you can become very lonely. And so you come back here with a lot of anxiety and depression. And it's not the work. America is a lonely place. You get home to an apartment, you have nobody to talk to. There's no kids running around in the community like you see in the Caribbean. Even though you get vexed with them because they play on the street and cause traffic problems and they play ball in the road and you vex because you want to pass quickly with your vehicle. If you know how sane that keeps you, you will thank God that you're living in the Caribbean. If you know how sane that keeps you. America is a lonely place. So is the UK and Canada. A lonely place. It's not the work that kill you, Not the work at all. It can become a very lonely place. Anyway, Helen says, put more. Okay, we got that one already. People need to act fast and not just react, but have a plan. Well, the Caribbean has always been a reactionary place as far as I've seen over the years. And that is an issue that I have with them. They've been very reactionary to everything. They don't plan a lot of stuff. They don't plan. You can live much better in the Caribbean versus the US. Yes, we talked about that before. And um, Cher says, thank you very much, Mr. Cook. I'm very impressed with the podcast. That for enlightenment and edification, I've subscribed. So she has subscribed. Get your friends to subscribe as well. Thank you very much for joining the podcast. Tilek says, me leave a proper work with IBM in US from 2008. Right? So what is each government plan to assist persons returning? Marvin Rogers, we don't know. They have not been talking about it. They're laughing and saying Trump is just playing around. That's what most of them are saying. Ever wonder so many go to better life in the US or Canada or wherever, but when you look, the born citizens of that said countries crying out for help. All governments should do better for their citizens. And says the problem is we're all immigrant, aren't we? Downtrodden, down on other people's lands, so we should understand. Yep, just passing through this place. We're all immigrants. To Chinese that say Trinidad is not a place to live, you all go America. Bravo. One bedroom in the Bahamas, 1,000 in some places, $1,000. Keisha, how you doing? Top of the morning to you. Good to see you online. Joyce Phillip, top of the morning to you. Purple Royal, good morning to you. Ann Lewis, Helen Gill, Christ Ambassador. Let's go down the line. Daily events, you are the guy, and I have to bring you on. Um, daily events, I have to bring you on the program when I get back. When I am finished setting up the studio properly, I have to get you in on the studio, do an interview with you. You really are an expression. I can tell you that. It says, yes, very lonely in Trinidad. Everyone used to like live. Okay, good. Authentic Israelite says it's not easy and everything costs an arm and a leg. You have to pay for everything. No true freedom. Born out at jobs. No time to relax, rejuvenate. US and Europe mess up the minds of Caribbean people. Without your family, you suffer the negative by yourself. Kids exposed to deviant ideas. And down here says, Siblab says 1,200 a month is a bargain these days. With the recent gentrification, housing prices are through the roof here in Brooklyn. I could only imagine. Yes, it's lonely because you're so busy working, you have no time for family or friends. Never like America. Visit once. That good diaspora channel. Thanks a lot. That's cheap. I'm paying 2,000. Karen, $2,000. Yeah, you can't be real. And my younger siblings are each paying 2,000 US dollars for rent. Man, if we develop in the Caribbean, the whites are going to find a way to wriggle their way in and create chaos again. They're like termites. I love island life, not leaving until Yah removes me. There was never an American dream to begin with. You can damn right say that. When in US, except no one give you nothing, okay, you can open the door, etc. Please share and let's build the Caribbean community here. Absolutely. Share the channel, guys. Share it with your friends. Share it to a lot of people. Let them know that we have a great Caribbean community here. We're discussing Caribbean issues, not gossip and just comments. We don't, I mean, every time to time, we might get a little comments come up on this scene with something. We could get a good laugh, but we're discussing serious issues here. We don't have time to waste with nonsense. Please share and let's build a Caribbean community here. Listen, let me tell you something. I had this channel since about 2015 when I started the news website in St. Vincent, and it went to about probably 5,000 plus subscribers. And then I dropped it because I wasn't doing much and I had a lot of things to do. And so I left it there. And in 2024, last year, a lot of people start calling me and saying, well, Cook, a lot of things are happening. I see you do write for the St. Vincent Times. You know what you're about. Why not get back into the radio business? Because I was in radio before. I spent 10 years on radio and I was a bomber for thing. And people, I just said, you know what? It was too much. I just couldn't take it anymore. I just fed up with radio and I just stopped. And then they said, you need to start back this channel, build a Caribbean community. And I said, you know what? You have a great idea there. And from the time I started, I'll have to tell you guys, thank you so much because we moved from 5,000 to 16,000 from since last year, August till now. You guys have been really supporting this community. And I really want to thank you. And I think because a lot of you have sent WhatsApp messages to me before, a lot of you have sent information to me and you thank me for what I've been doing, not just because a lot of channels you say you watch and you just see a lot of gossip, but this is like information, good information that you can learn something. So I want to thank you very much. I want to thank you very much for that. A lot of people have been asking me for a number where they can WhatsApp me. Let me see. I can put that number on the screen as well, so you can WhatsApp me with information, anything that you think we should discuss on this community together. I'll try and see if I can get that and put it up so that you can see it. And you can save that number. So there's it right there. You can WhatsApp me on that number right there. So let me get back to the comments because you guys are making some serious comments. I think I missed a couple. Let me get into them quickly. Right. So Let's go back to the comments section. It says, please share. Let's build this community. Thank you very much, Shay. Christ Ambassador Trump is not playing around. He's cleaning up because he wants his people not to pay too much income tax. Spring Herb says it's hard everywhere, but home is home. Let's say Shai said my mom was paying $1,800 a month. Carbon people need sunlight for vitamin D. Lack of sunlight in northern hemisphere reduces death. This can affect people more than they imagine. That's true. I tell myself if the Most High want me to be in the US, etc., he will let me be born there. Thank you. I'm a Bajan. Patrick Patricia, I think that's his Patricia. Yeah. Sorry about that, Patricia. It's an election time coming up in Vinci. What are the policies in place to help returning nationals? Well, Patricia, I have not heard the government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines elucidate on that. They have not said anything really. And I know that two projects under the US aid, which Trump has put a halt on as well, building some warehouses in the Grenadines to deal with disaster management. That's all I heard that the government talked about. I haven't heard the government said anything else about what plans they have in place for returning nationals. So that's something that we will have to wait to hear. Someone that says, I used to live in the US and Canada, IT engineer. I have two tourists and my 12-acre farm. Okay. Good morning. I just find your page and subscribe. That's Olivia Campbell. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that a lot. Hope to see you more on these live. Trinidad is still paradise. Many Trinidadians do not appreciate their own country. They're spoiled and entitled. Someone says, bless up. Jamaican Food and Travel says, good. This will force Caribbeans, especially Jamaicans, to go back to their country and hopefully build it. Someone says, greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. We love your channel. You discuss West Indian business. That's what we do around here. We discuss the West Indian business. There are some things in place for deportees in Trinidad, but it would need more time with that influx. That's right. David Clark says, I hope Caribbean build up after returning nationals. Well, let's hope that some of them come back with some good skills that they can help to build the countries. Native need to reclaim their islands. So the pale Europeans and US parasites don't buy things up and rent to the local community and business minded for our people. Shadia says Trinidad and Tobago still on the useless SOE. And then Geneva Police says America's cleaning up and purging for betterment. No more freakos. Wow. Well, guys, I gotta say, you are an intelligent community. Absolutely intelligent. There's so much of you that came on the live this morning. I wasn't looking forward to seeing so much of you. When I say looking forward, I didn't expect so much of you to come on this morning because I know in the morning a lot of people have so many things that they gotta do and so busy, but I know you find your time, whether it's 5 minutes or 2 minutes, to look at the live and contribute to the discussion. Dan Francis, top of the morning to you. Let me see if I can go through this long list. Listen for your name. Christabel Crosby, Vanessa Gabriel. Let's see. Daily events worldwide. Elgin, Lucinda, Muriel, Irma. Let's who else we have? A authentic Israelite. Boy, daily events. You've been really doing it. Sharon O. I have Aaron BC Career. I hope I got the name correct. Listen for your name. Extra Best. I believe I got your name correct. Ezra Best. Let me see who else is on the live here. Warrior 777. Top of the morning. Gaming within you. I hope I'm calling these names correct. I sound like Trump, not getting your name correct. Vanessa Gabriel, well, Ann Foster, State X4, Shy, School CXC, Victorious Lady, Irma Adams. I think I called your name already. Kishan Ali. I see Frisian. I hope I got that correct. Frisian. Let me see who else. Terry B. Let's go down the line here. I see my good friend. Let's go back. Well, Warrior 77. You guys have been in the thick of things all the entire morning. Right. Umago, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to you as well. Shout to St. Vincent. Good morning to you. Let me see. Kishan. I think I got that name before. You guys have really been contributing to the discussion. Let me see. Vida Oliver. That's correct. Antonio. Top of the morning. JC. Let's see who else we have here. Listen for your name. Listen for your name. Let's go down the line. Maria Bahan. I hope I got that correct. Let's go down the line here. Who else do we have inside this morning? Look, Joyce Philip. Yeah, and Lewis, did I get that already? Jason Nisbet, Law of Assumption as well. Law of Assumption, that's a beautiful name, and the Law of Assumption. Kishan Ali, I think I got that before. These are the guys have been really, you guys have been really talking and making your comments. Helen Gill, yeah. Sivlap, I think I got that already. Let's go down. Alicia Allison, you guys are listening for the name. Dorothy Porter, top of the morning to you. Purple Royal, good morning to you. Going down. Marvin Rogers, top of the morning to you. Let's see who else do we have online here right now. Let's get you going. Gotta big up everybody. Gotta big up everybody. Christ Ambassador, I think I called that one already. Keisha, Rolly, yeah, top of the morning. I think Keisha subscribed this morning. Thanks a lot, Keisha. Appreciate that. I remember to share it with your friends and get them to subscribe as well. We're building this Caribbean community. A lot of things to discuss in the coming weeks and months. And of course, like I said, the number on the screen, you can message me. You can send emails to me as well. Let me know what topics you want to discuss. You may have something in your country that's bothering you, and we can discuss that. We can go through all these things. We have to build the Caribbean. We have to talk Caribbean, Karen, I think I got Karen name already. Let me see who else is down here. Boy, some top people. Princess Rose Dahl, top of the morning. Spring Herbs, good morning to you as well. People listening for the name right now. These guys are listening for the name. Let me see what else is happening here. Patricia, Haniford, yeah. And then I have Olivine Campbell and I have RMGO, Trinidad and Tobago. That's right. Jamaica Food and Travel. Let's see what else we have. Shadia SP. All right. Joyce Phillip. I think I called that name already. David Clark. Top of the morning to you as well. Who else do we have here? Going down the line. Michelle Hurst. If I got that correct. Who else do we have online? Chef Den. Yep. I'm trying to get everybody's name in because you're all important to me. Every last one of you. Mira Bainey. I hope I got that correct. State X4, I think I called that name already. Blessed to be a blessing. I'm calling everybody's name. I don't care how long it takes me. David Clark, Diane Lopez, Maureen Singh. Good morning to you. Mary Jane. Let me see who else. I hope I didn't forget anybody. Let's go down. Jason Tammy. And those are the names I see here, at least in the comment section. Guys, if you want your name to be called, I'm bigging up everybody. I could stay here and big up you all day because I love you all. Great discussion this morning. Some people commented more than others. Others just listen, and that's fine. That's not a problem at all. CDX4 says, here's the topic. Culture isn't just music. Carnival, and cuisine. It's also how people behave, how people solve problems, what part of Caribbean culture causes crime in our Caribbean countries. That is a very important discussion right there, State X4. WhatsApp me, 533-9260. Please WhatsApp me and remind me of that one as well, okay? Arlene Charles says Tobago's in the house. True to power. The SP. She's cracking up. Carnival costume. The Cal plane had a faulty fuel gauge. I'm starting to wonder what's going on with Cal these days. I'm seeing a lot of reports of Cal aircraft. I don't know. Have they been having that problem for a long time? I'm trying to figure out what's going on, but I gotta tell you all something though. I'm not telling you all which airline to fly with, but pay close attention to what's happening with these Boeing planes. And a lot of our people in the region, a lot of airlines coming to the region, they're using Boeing aircraft. A lot of faults are coming up with Boeing planes lately, and you notice it. I mean, I'm quite sure a lot of you have been reading about what's happening with Boeing, and a lot of the flights out of the Caribbean they're using Boeing aircraft. So you have to be very careful as to how you book these days. Some people say they are been very careful. I don't know, but something that we have to talk about one of these days too. So get used to that one as well. Yeah, guys. So Carl, somebody talked about Carl there. Cedric Antoine, top of the morning to you. Good morning, Cookie. Greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. Love to St. Vincent and Grenadines. Thanks a lot for coming online. Playing TNT by K. Let's see who else made some comments here. Cyril St. John says the Caribbean government have to do their share of deportation all across the board. David Callahan says, why are we leaving our homelands to go abroad? Can someone please tell me what the blap is going on here? Yeah. That's the person's name. Big up to you. Um, Barbados, you could open your window and door when you go home. That's right. Carl has a monopoly on Tobago route competition will encourage performance, right? It's true that opportunities are limited, and through this airplane and not getting the best safety ratings. Listen, guys, I could stay here all morning and call your name. I love you all. It has been a beautiful morning. You guys have contributed to the discussion in a very, very, very productive way. That's what I like to see because I've watched a lot of lives on YouTube, and some of the things that people are talking about in the comment section really leaves a lot to be desired. The thing with you, what I've noticed with you guys, is that you guys have stayed focused. You've responded to each other's comments in a productive manner without dissing anybody, as the people would say. I've seen some very rude and nasty comments in different lives. You guys have also given, in terms of advice to others. You're making comments and suggestions as to how we can move forward as a Caribbean people. That is absolutely brilliant. And David Stanford says, new subscriber, enjoying your content, Guyanese in Brooklyn. Top of the morning to you, brother. And it's this is what I wanted all along. A Caribbean community where people focus on Caribbean issues, not disrespectful to each other, making comments and suggestions, and that's how we build ourselves. This is good. And I want to thank you guys for doing that this morning. Carl has a good safety record. Our MGO says that. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. And I think throughout the Caribbean we have done that with our airlines. Liat had a very, very good safety record as well. I think our pilots in the Caribbean must be commended for that. Very, very good safety records. So, guys, I want to thank you for joining me this morning. I mean, this time of the day, it's what, minutes to 12, and you guys are here and you've did a lot, and so we love it. And we will continue this discussion at another time. And like I said, you can WhatsApp me. Let me know what some of the discussions that you would like to have taken place. And the next time that we're on a live, the studio should be already completed where you'll be able to call in and make your suggestions. And I'll give you time to say what you have to say. It's not like these radio stations that run you off in a minute or 2 minutes. Some of you will get 2 minutes, some of you will get 5 minutes, some of you will get 10 minutes. You want to make a presentation on a topic. That's how we build each other's brain cells. You know what I'm saying? All right, good. So David Cannon said the government of the region need to do some house cleaning and create opportunities so we don't have to go abroad at the mercy of foreign government. That's correct. And also, someone here says, please, if you're born in the US or got things to do, come on, Trump is waiting on you. Please, okay. Cook, you've been very inspiring and you've always have dispensed edification in a super way. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks a lot for being on the live this morning. See you guys in another live. And like I said, next time you guys will be able to call in and make your suggestions, opinions, and the likes. Thanks a lot. And the WhatsApp number is there on the live. It's just below my name that says the Ernesto Cook podcast. The number is just below there. You can always go back into the live and get the number. It's right there for you guys. I'll put the number as well in the description for this as well. Okay. Someone says, just post the topic before the live so I can give proper references. Not a problem at all. Need to deport Jake and Justin. All right, guys. Have an excellent day. Bye. Love you all. Take care.